Hello everybody, Beard Reads Books here, and today's book review is on Time Police Volume 2 Trapped. Now my last review was on the Volume 1 of the Time Police series, Vanished, so I went straight from book 1 into book 2. Now at the end of book 1, Jackson Dubček, the main protagonist, he tried to walk away from the whole sort of time police, temporal projects, time travel and all the rest. And this book opens up with Jackson trying to help his brother, and that's the main thrust of this story. What's basically happened is his brother Mark's wife and children, they've disappeared, been erased from history, and basically what's happened is someone's gone back in time and killed his wife's great-grandfather. So like Mark, I won't remember his name, right? Mark, I've only just read the book as well. Yeah, so Mark, he goes to his brother Jackson and like wanting help and that. So Jackson, he managed to work out that the reason his sister-in-law and their children have disappeared is because someone's killed her great-grandfather. So the main thrust of the story is him trying to put it right. Like I said with the first book, it's a bit of a pulp fiction, light-hearted story. And this one, again, yeah, bit of a light-hearted pulp fiction, but it's a little bit more weightier than the first one. Not much more, but it's a bit more weightier, and get some character developments throughout the book, so quite good. But the way it's written, the layout of the book is a bit poor. What I mean by that is, in quite a few of the chapters where they jump from sort of one particular storyline to another, whereas there should be a gap between the paragraphs, with this one there's no gap, so all the paragraphs are just flowing one into the other. So you're reading along one particular paragraph, one particular storyline, and then suddenly, without any warning, the next paragraph it's about a different storyline, like following the story of a different set of characters in the story, and that kind of disrupts the flow of the story a bit. And because it was happening quite a lot throughout the book, very off-putting at times, and it kind of distracted from the flow of it disrupted the flow of the story. And yeah, they should have got a better proofreader, should have done a better job of proofreading. So yeah, that's quite a bit of a criticism. And another thing with this book, and it happened in the first book as well, in this book there was a couple of sack scenes, and it was kind of felt like they didn't really add much to the story. It did feel, to me, it felt a bit like the sex scenes were in there for the sake of it, and I personally, I'm not keen on that. I don't mind there being sex scenes when it's sort of an integral part of the storyline. And in the first book, didn't really feel much like an integral part of the storyline. This one, a little bit more so. And the reason I say that is this, because in this series, like when they people time travel, they get sick. It brings on nausea. It's like travel sickness, and they when you sort of arrive at your destination time, like puking your guts up and all that kind of thing. And in this book, Jackson, he discovers that if you have sex within 24 hours before travelling, you don't get that time travel sickness. So yeah, I suppose sex scenes a little bit more integral to this storyline, but still felt a little bit like, it's going a bit over the top, sort of why they're having it. So not sure how I feel about that. Still did feel a little bit unnecessary. Yeah, but yeah, I did enjoy this. Probably again, like I said when I was reviewing the first book, I read these series of books for the first time when I was a teenager. Really loved them then. So coming back to them now, like reading them now and that, it's a bit of a nostalgia feeling. So I think that's probably why I'm quite enjoying them now, because I enjoyed them when I was a teenager. So again, like I said in the first review, not sure I'd be quite so enjoying it much if I was reading it for the first time now. So there's one more book in this series. The Time Police Volume 3 Stranded. So I'm going to be reading that soon. But I mean, this is quite a good book to read when you're travelling on a train. If you want something a bit lightweight. Because I don't know about you guys, but I find when I'm travelling on a train and that, I don't necessarily want to be reading something too in-depth, because obviously I find with in-depth books I like to be concentrating fully on it, something I personally don't find too easy to do when I'm travelling on a train. But I find on a train a light-hearted book is, I enjoy that. I find them kind of books easier to get on with on a train. So yeah, this kind of book I'd say good for if you're like a teenager, if you want a bit of a light-hearted time travel story, if you want a light-hearted pulp fiction book for travelling on a train or anything like that. Is it the kind of book I'd rave about? I probably wouldn't rave about it too much. Wouldn't exactly sort of sing its praises loudly, but it's, I suppose you could say it's a bit of a guilty pleasure. You know, it's a kind of book, it's not going to win any literary awards, I don't think, I wouldn't say. But yeah, there's some enjoyment to be had out of it. So yeah, worth giving a go if you want. So that's my sort of little review on Time Police Volume 2. And I've got another book in the series to read, but I'm not going to read, that's not going to be my next book to read. I'm going to have a bit of a break from this series of books. My next book I'm going to read, it's going to be a bit of a weighty read. Probably going to have a bit of an emotional punch to it. Killing for Company, the case of Dennis Nilsson. He was a Scottish guy who, yeah, he was a murderer in the 80s. So this is like a story of Dennis Nilsson, the killer. So that's going to be a bit of a weighty read. So my next book review is going to be a bit of a interesting one. Well guys, a bit of a short sweet review, and thank you for watching. Hope you found this helpful. Let me know if you've read this book or any of the Time Police series books, and yeah, tell me what you thought of them. Did you enjoy them? Didn't you? What did you like about the story? What didn't you like? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it. So yeah, feel free to drop me a comment and look forward to hearing what you thought on it. I'm gonna say bye for now and look forward to seeing you in the next book review.